today, we're going to be talking about colonial life. We're going to be talking about different circumstances that the colonial people were in. And we're going to start off talking about chores. Raise your hand if you have chores that you have to do at home. If you have certain chores or responsibilities that are expected of you, whether your parents give you these chores or responsibilities or you take them on yourself. Oh, I don't see everybody's hands. That's pretty nice. Well, let's think about different chores and responsibilities that you know about for children. So I've made a defining and context circle map here on the board. And yes, Genevieve? Oh, you have some suggestions? Wait a second. So we have our defining and context circle map. And in the center, I put our topic, which is children's chores and responsibilities. Your job is to tell me some of the children's chores and responsibilities. What are some chores and responsibilities that you have, maybe that you're familiar with? And I want you to put them in the chat.
Okay, and as they come through, I'm going to read to Miss Kruger, and she's going to be filling in the circle map.
So when we're doing the defining and context circle map, our ideas having to do with the children's chores and responsibilities will be in this blue circle right here.
Homework.
So homework.
Feeding the dog.
Homework. Feeding the dog. I'm going to draw a little puppy.
Laundry. Cleaning room. Walking the dog.
Oh, walking the dog too. Okay.
Dishes.
Dishes. What are some more chores that you have to do?
Making your bed.
Oh, making your bed. Yep, that's a good one.
Cleaning the chimney. That sounds colonial.
Cleaning the chimney. Okay, I'll draw a little chimney for you there.
I'm so happy that we don't have to do that.
Picking up the dog waste.
Oh,
Caring for. I like that chimney, Miss Kruger.
thank you. Seems like the dogs really create a lot of
Trash.
chores for you at home. Oh,
Taking
and
out the
trash.
trash.
Here's our trash can. Our trash
Lucas, what do
can.
you mean? Please clarify reference. I'm sorry. I didn't-
Cleaning the chimney. Yeah. Oh, Mary Poppins cleaning the chimney.
Oh,
Chimney
right.
sweeps.
Vacuuming.
Oh, vacuuming. Yeah, that's a good one. How about we take one more? What's another
That'd be
chore?
very interesting. Cleaning your room, maybe.
Cleaning the
Vacuuming.
room. So
Yeah,
I'll
a lot of
put
vacuuming.
cleaning.
Dishes again. Making bed.
Pierce Lucas, let's start with the chatter. Thank you. So look what we have here. We have homework, cleaning, we've got taking out the trash, we have feeding the dog, walking the dog, vacuuming, bed making, dishes, cleaning the chimney, whoever has to do that. Who put in cleaning the chimney? Lucas, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, well, I never had to clean the chimney when I was a kid. So we're talking about chores and responsibilities and things that we have to do. Now, I'm curious to find out, where did you get this information from? So when we're doing the defining and context circle map, we put our topic in the center, we put our ideas surrounding in the other circle, and then in these corners, we put where we got our information from. How do you know about chores and responsibilities of children? From your own experiences, maybe you saw on TV. So go ahead and put in the chat now, where did you find out what kind of chores and responsibilities children have?
Where did you get this information, friends, about these things? Where did you get that information?
Did you just make it up in your head, or, oh, who was that? Is that Ronnie?
No, it's not.
Oh, no, that's
What's
okay.
number 11? No.
Okay, so your parents.
Parents. Okay.
So we could put own experiences.
Parents, do they share about chores, or they're the ones giving you the chores, so that's your own experience or prior knowledge?
So I'll put prior knowledge. What's another place where you got this
I
information
really like
from?
what Maddie said. Maddie said from movies, she learns about different chores.
Oh, yeah.
That's excellent, from watching movies.
Thanks, Maddie. So I'll
Monica
put
says
chores.
prior, own experiences,
Mm-hmm.
and Adam included the internet, because he learns about different chores from the internet.
Yeah.
So in the other corners, own experience and the internet. Good job, you guys. That's exactly what we were looking for. And then own experiences.
their own experiences. So this is great. So I know chores and responsibilities. I know some of the chores and responsibilities all of you have been exposed to and are knowledgeable about. And I also know where you got this information from. That's very insightful. And it's really important too because today we'll be talking about the chores and responsibilities of colonial people, of children in colonial times. So what we're going to do today is a jot dot. Raise your hand if you've ever heard of a jot dot before. Oh yeah, it's new. So a jot dot is a method of note taking, and what I need from you is to take out a piece of paper. So in class, Mrs. Chucky's walking around with a piece of paper. At home, you can just rip a piece of paper out of your reading and writing notebook, your red notebook. Just take a piece of paper out and rip it out. And I'll show you ripping mine out. I got my paper. You're going to want to put your name, your number, and the date in the right-hand corner. So go ahead and rip that paper out. And online, when you have taken that piece of paper out, go ahead and show me on the camera. I would love to see it. Awesome. Thank you, Francis. Thanks, Monica. Everybody needs a piece of paper. This piece of paper is going to be your exit ticket today. So everybody needs to take out this piece of paper. Everybody in class has a piece of paper? So next what you're going to do is fold it into 6 different sections. So the best way that I am able to do this is I fold it first in thirds. So I have my paper like this, long ways, the 11 inches across the top.
Everybody show her the long ways, the hot dog ways.
So show me your paper this way. And now let's fold it into thirds. Like a burrito, folding up our burrito.
Okay, you're folding it into thirds, so equal parts thirds.
Try to make those thirds equal. And then after you have those thirds,
Okay, thirds like this.
you're going to fold it in half.
Thirds like this. And then coloring. So
I have my thirds, and then I'm going to
make
fold it in
check
half.
that it's like this first, and then we're in half, like this. So first, it's thirds, so it's gonna come up with 6. Like this, right?
After you are finished and your paper has successfully been folded into 6 different parts, go ahead and show me on the camera.
Show her on the camera. Okay, so it's
Thanks, Annika.
you can do that.
Awesome, Faison. Thanks, Danica. So we have those 6 pieces, and I want you to go ahead and label each one of those squares 1 through 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Label each of those squares, those boxes, 1 through 6. How you doing, Pierce?
We need a new one, or is that?
Pierce, can you label your boxes 1 through 6?
Sure.
Pierce,
We don't need our computer right now.
yeah. Put your computer away and we're gonna work on spotting after your instruction, okay?
So take that time. Make sure you have your name in the upper right-hand corner.
Thank you. Go ahead and bring your laptop and bring this paper. And your pencil.
Give me a peace sign when your paper is folded in 6 pieces and you have them labeled 1 through 6, those boxes. Give me a peace sign. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Francis. Thanks, Connie. Thanks, Jameson. Oh, have you done it yet? Thanks, Sarah. Nice, nice. Awesome, Dylan. Thanks, Bonnie. It looks good, Dylan. Make sure that you label those 1 through 6. Oh, okay. So you need to first fold into the thirds, Dylan, and then you fold in half. So while everybody else is finishing, they're folding and labeling, make sure to write your name in that top right-hand corner. So you have your paper like that, Dylan? And then fold one side and one side. So hold it up and fold it like that. So you just fold it in and fold it in, and then you're going to fold in half.
Okay, she's gonna label each one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So it should be labeled 1 through 6.
4, 5, 6, and your name.
And now let me explain to you what we're going to do. What is a jot job? So I'm going to be reading some information from your textbook, from our social studies textbook. I'm going to be reading about the home life of colonial people, about Puritans. So I'm going to be reading about the home life of Puritans. And while I'm reading, you need to pay really close attention. You're going to be listening to everything I say, and when I say jot jot, I'm going to stop reading, and you're going to go to your paper, and you're going to write at least 3 important things from what I just read and draw an image. So what is this going to look like? So let's say, for example, Mrs. Chucky is talking, she's reading to me about Labrador retrievers. She's reading to me about dogs. She's reading about what they eat, what kind of activities they like, different breeds, and then she stops. So I'm thinking, okay, what did I just hear? So I'm going to write down their eating habits. I'm going to write down different breeds. I'm going to think, oh, what else did she say that was really important? She said that, oh, they like to go on 2-mile walks every day. And then I'm going to draw. So I have my information. I wrote my 3 important facts. And then above my 3 important facts, I'm going to draw a picture that relates to what she just read to me. So I would, in that case, draw a little puppy dog, little golden retriever. So my first square, I'll have my picture and my 3 important points from what she just read to me. So you're going to be doing the same thing, but I'm going to be reading about the daily life of the Puritans. And what are your questions about this? You're going to be given 2 minutes after I say jot jot. So this is an activity where you move fast. You're going to be listening closely, and then you're going to react quickly. What are your questions about the jot jot? The jot jot.
Okay, so you're gonna keep it this way.
So jot means write, and dot means draw. So we're not really drawing, we're sketching. So we're not making a big production of the image that we put down. We're just thinking really quickly about, okay, so she read about dogs. I'm going to draw a fast picture of a dog. I'm not pulling out my colored pencils. I'm just, it's more about recall, note-taking. What are your questions about this activity? Give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Thumbs up,
Give me a thumbs up.
pencils up.
And be prepared to share, because I'm going to call on students after every jot dot to show me what they put in their square. Awesome, awesome. So remember, this is an activity where we listen closely.
No writing while the speaking is going on, so pencils are not anywhere on the paper.
If you heard Mrs. Chucky at home, yeah, exactly, Maddie. Hands are free, we're just listening. Home life. The main room of a Puritan home had a large fireplace in which a fire was always kept burning. All cooking was done there. Most food was roasted over the fire or simmered in large iron kettles hung over the fire. Kettles were also used to heat water for cooking and washing. Baking was done in a small oven inside the fireplace. Women and girls spent many hours preparing food for their families. They also used churn to turn cream into butter. They dried and preserved fruits and pickled cabbage and other vegetables from their garden. Pickling and storing fruits and vegetables in jars preserved the food so that it would last through the cold, hard winter. Jot dot.
Hey, pick up your pencil.
You have 2 minutes. Write down some important points, at least 3, and sketch an image.
And then I go to a minute, and it's like the first one, do two, and then go to like half an hour when they get it. And then your time will be.
Okay, you do it in the first square, everybody. You're only writing in the first jot dot square. Your 3 facts first, and even if you've heard more, write down as much information as you can, then sketch.
Always write your facts first and then sketch. Because oftentimes your sketch will be inspired by the facts you write down.
Write your facts and then sketch about. What did she say? Remember Allison? You wrote this one? What did she?
Nice job, everybody. You have 1 more minute. Make sure you're writing those facts down and sketching an image that is reflective of what I just read. And be prepared to share it.
This is really good. So if you didn't teach it, we need to, we'll do this in the second time, go second class.
And then I'll write on which pages in the text of it as well.
This is really good.
Make sure words and sketches.
Okay, 20 more seconds. Get out those last ideas.
Words and sketches. And this is in round 1, box 1.
Okay, and your time is up. Put your hands up. Hands up, hands up. Pencil over your hands. Box 1 should be complete. And I'm going to call on Maddie to share her first box. Maddie, what did you write? And show us what you drew.
So I wrote that they would preserve food in jars to last the cold, harsh winter, and they cooked on a big iron pot on the fireplace. There's a big fireplace in the main.
Awesome. And what did you draw? Show everybody on the screen.
Here's a small fireplace with a table.
Awesome. And I'm also going to ask Wyatt. Wyatt, show me what you've drawn and tell us your 3 facts.
I wasn't able to copy it down because my brother wanted me to fold his paper.
Okay, so remember, this is a close listening activity. You have to really be in the moment for this activity. So Wyatt, I'm gonna
Share your first one.
oh, actually, is Wyatt, did Trevor, was he able to get his done for the first square?
No, because I had to fold his paper.
Okay, is it all folded and labeled now?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, so we're gonna be moving on to the next part. So everybody listen closely, no one's writing anything. Women and girls also made the simple clothing worn by most colonists. All fabric was limited, even pieces of worn out clothing were used to make new clothing and patchwork quilts to put on beds. Nothing useful went to waste. Women and girls made many other items that their families used every day. They used animal fat to make soap and candles, and they used pig bristles or hair to make brushes. Women also took care of the children. Most Puritan families had 7 or more children. Jot dot. And on this jot dot, you will have 1.5 minutes. You'll be working in box number 2.
Write as many things, you don't have to limit yourself to 3, write as much as you know, and then sketch.
Nice job, everybody. Nice work, Richie.
What do you do, sketch? Then write as much as you know.
Make sure you write those at least 3 facts down in your sketch. You have 30 more seconds.
Miss Berger, do you even want to go like that and you have the shield on?
I think we left the shield at home.
Oh, okay.
You know.
That's it.
Okay, and hands on your head. Hands on your head, hands on your head. Awesome. Everybody put down your pencil and paper. I'm gonna continue reading. Men and boys hunted for food, furs, and hides. They cut firewood and made most of their own tools from wood. The men also took turns patrolling the borders of the town. Most men and boys spent their days working in the fields outside the town. After clearing trees and rocks from the land, they plowed the soil and planted crops. The colonists grew corn, wheat, rye, and barley. Among the rows of corn, farmers also grew pumpkins and squash. They had learned some of their farming methods from the Wampanoag Indians. Jot dot. I'll make sure that you're writing and jotting and dotting.
We are in square 3.
We're on square 3. Write down those facts first and then make that sketch. You have about 1 minute and 15 seconds. And be prepared to share.
Spelling isn't a concern right now. You're sketching for imprinting and for memorization and for making sure that you understand. So spelling, just do your best.
And 30 more seconds. Okay, and touch your pinkies together. Touch your pinkies together, some of you ready? Touch your thumbs together. Touch your knuckles together. Give yourself a fist bump. Awesome, and I would like to see and hear from Annika. Annika, go ahead and share with us your 3 or more facts and your image, your drawing, your sketch.
My facts were that the men grew corn, wheat, and rye, took turns patrolling, and they plowed and grew the crops. My
Awesome.
picture was kind of like there's a corn. I don't know what rye is, so I kind of just imagined it. And
That's awesome, Annika. Raise your hand if you had an image, if you had a sketch that was similar to Annika's. Did you also draw the crops? That's awesome. Okay, Trevor Coble. Go ahead and share with us what you wrote down in that square 3 and the sketch you made.
in square 3, I put that men and boys hunted animals, cleared rocks, farmed, and patrolled
Oh, so much better.
And then I put this guy kind of leading an ox or whatever that's pulling a plow.
Awesome. Nice work, Trevor. Okay. Let's listen closely. Each autumn.
Why looks like wheat.
Oh, yeah. You're right, Trevor. Okay. Each autumn, all the people in the town work together to harvest crops. They sent some of these crops to England in exchange for things such as paper, lead, and paint. They also sent crops to English colonies on the Caribbean islands in exchange for sugar. The Puritans raised cattle, hogs, and sheep as a source of food, leather, and wool. They made their own shoes from leather and wore warm clothing and made from sheep's wool. Jot dot. Are you doing? Are you participating in this jot dot? About 1 minute left. And this is in square 4. Okay, so hands up. And you know what? This next one is actually going to be our last one, number 5. I accidentally thought that there would be 6 squares used, just 5. Okay, so listen closely. Life was difficult for the early Puritans, but they still found time for some leisure activities. Children usually had few toys, but they enjoyed playing games and sports. At night, families sat around the fire to read the Bible or other religious books. Often, the Puritans' leisure time combined play with work. For example, some children liked to fish and hunt, and others enjoyed sewing and quilt making. Jot dot. And this is our final jot dot, so make it really count. We're going to have a minute to do this one. And I'll be calling on a few students to share.
Maybe share their entire job too.
you jot and you dot. Jot, dot.
Make sure you have as much information about that portion that was read.
And hands on your head. Lucas, hands on your head. Nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Adam, hands go on your head. And I would like to hear from Usman. Usman, can you show me your sketch and tell me the facts that you wrote down for this last square? Usman, can you unmute and share with us?
So I said, each kid found type of activities. Children had toys, but they enjoyed games. Others enjoyed fishing.
Awesome. And what was your picture of?
It's a boy fishing and a boy naked.
Awesome. That's wonderful, Usman. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to see Om. Om, what did you write down for this last square? And show us your sketch.
I'm not like completely done yet.
What did you write down?
So basically, I wrote down about like what do you call it? Like I'm kind of not that done yet. Like I'm just writing it down.
Go ahead and show us any of your panels. Any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any of them.
Can you show me your paper?
Okay, can I share like the last one because I like that one.
Yeah, that's the one I'm asking about. Can you show me the last one and tell me about it?
If I'm talking about the one about the sheep.
Fine.
Okay, share with us what you put down.
Okay, so basically on that part, I wrote down like the sheep was like the Indians took like great care of it and like
Okay, we'll come back to you,
Yeah. Okay. We'll have a
Make
discussion
sure
a little
you
bit
listen.
later. Make sure that we're listening and participating in real time. Monica, what did you write down for your last square? Can you show us your sketch?
this is my sketch.
Awesome.
And I wrote that fun time for children consisted in play and also work. Quilt making and girls did quilt making and boys did hunting or fishing and some children had toys.
And what was your sketch of?
I sketched a girl quilt making and a boy hunting or fishing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica. Everybody, show me your jot dots on the screen. Everybody hold it up to the camera. Everybody take a look at everybody else's. Oh, there are some great sketches on there. A lot of information. Faison, can you hold yours up? Trevor Coble? And at the end of this lesson, we're going to be taking a picture of these and uploading it as our exit ticket. So make sure you have that on the side. Students in class, you know that sometimes we collect things instead, so. Okay, awesome. Great work, everybody. So there was a theme going on in our jot dot about the daily life. It seemed like even when the children got to play, they still had to work. What a life that must have been.
But they enjoyed it.
Let's
raise
see.
your hand to share, use your signal of comment, a C.
Okay, so next we're going to be manipulating a Jamboard. I have a tree map for all of you. I made 8 special Jamboard sections. You'll see at the top that there is a list of different chores and responsibilities. You're going to be put in a group, you're going to be put in a breakout room, and what you need to do with your group is decide on how you categorize these words, these different chores and responsibilities. So take a look at your screen and see, all you have to do is click on, okay, making clothes. I'm gonna put it in this category. You just drag it, just another drag and drop. And you see these sections that say category 1, category 2, category 3. That's gonna be up to you to decide. How would you sort these different chores? For example, would you sort them based off of, let's see, I know that making clothes was typically a chore or responsibility of women or girls. So I might put that in this category, and I might label this category girls and women. So there's a lot of different ways you could categorize these, and we're not categorizing them based off how they spell. We're categorizing them based off of what they meant in the colonial time. What are your questions about this?
And they can use their book as a support if needed.
And I forgot to mention to you, all this that I read to you for the jot dot, that's from your textbook. That's from pages 218 and 219 of your textbook. So if you need some reference to go back to, if your jot dot has a lot of information, but you know that there were some things that were left out, you can refer back to your textbook, pages 218 and 219. What are your questions, Nicholas? Awesome question. So Nicholas asked, well, how do we know which slide is ours? So you will get a breakout room, and it, you know how when you get invited to the breakout room, it says, enter breakout room 2. So if you know that you're in breakout room 2, then you will manipulate and work on breakout room 2. And everyone in your group needs to participate. Everybody, everybody. And one way you can do this is go off of your numbers, your class numbers. If you're with 1, 7, 9, and 13, make sure that every single person is represented in this, that everyone has a say. So if you're a student who normally likes to lay low in the breakout room, this is your opportunity to really step it up. And if you have a person in your group who's not participating, go ahead and ask them, what do you think? Because sometimes we just need a little bit of a push. Danica, what's your question? The Jamboard, I'll put the link in the, maybe I'll do that right now. I'm gonna put the link in the chat, and then you will get an invitation to a breakout room. So click the link for the Jamboard, and then enter your breakout room. Give me a thumbs up that you understand.
You're putting a category title, and you're sorting the words in the word bank into categories, then labeling that category based on what you learned in the reading. Yes. Right there on the board. Work with your teammates.
One second, everybody. You may have a title, students in class. You might have a title for your breakout room based off of the science groups. Just disregard that right now. If you're in Boeing, but you know that you're not actually in Boeing, it's okay. Just ignore it for right now. Mrs. Chucky and I are getting our breakout rooms all set up.
Oh, we could have cleared it.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you got that set up. You know, it's fair.
Okay, so I'm going to open the rooms. When you get that invitation, go ahead and enter that room. Oh, and I have one last detail. You see that little sticky note? It says write group members' names here. Guess what you should do there? Write the group members' names. Okay, breakout rooms are open. You have 10 minutes to do this.
Well, are they dragging them into the correct locations? Are you discussing how you're going to label each category? Start talking to your breakout room group.
So go ahead and join that breakout room that you've been invited to.
She said not to worry about it.
sticky notes so we knew who's participating in each room? And who did this?
I think the first two.
No. Okay, so we're gonna.
I think categories should be one. Yeah, I think we should do this and then an idea on how these should be sorted. So making recipes. I think categories two could be right.
Good job, Paris. I get you're having good conversation.
I put making tools there actually. Making things, you know? Yeah, I put my name.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in. Urkham, can you hear me?
Good job, Danica.
Wait, so there's some five organizations who did what?
How's it going, everybody?
They didn't, they really didn't.
Is it going okay?
What do you need?
Everybody is drawing all over slide one and they're erasing stuff.
Okay, so we're using it.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, everybody freeze!
Ted, can you say that a little bit louder?
We're in breakout room 1, so we go on slide 1.
Yeah, so you'll be working on slide 1 if you're in breakout room 1. I see that there's some scribbles on there. Don't worry about it. Just edit the categories and sort the words where they belong. I know that you weren't scribbling. Yeah. Nice work. So keep talking. Think about how you want to sort. Do you have any questions? Okay, awesome. Keep up the good work.
So Urban never went to his breakout.
He's not being responsive.
And then,
I'm pretty sure.
which breakout room is he in?
Wait, I'm clicking on the so what is
Oh.
Go back into your breakout room. Jai, can you go back in your breakout room?
He doesn't have the link.
Can we get a Jamboard link?
Uh-huh.
We can't find it.
And go ahead and mute your mics, you guys.
We'll work on it tomorrow. Make sure, identify a category.
How's it going?
Right here.
Someone's manipulating yours. Are you guys in, what room are you? Your breakout room 6?
You know, I do what I do.
Yeah.
And
Oh, so I'm a cloud? Oh no, that's not me, that's someone else.
this is a really good lesson.
We'll see what they come up with out there.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thanks. Okay, students, you have 5 more minutes. Let the people know in your group you have 5 minutes. So make the most of this time. Talk about how you want to categorize these terms, and then we're going to go over it together. Three more minutes. Let's say 3 minutes.
I don't know either.
Okay, stop. Tell them
also marked at our end.
Okay, one more minute, everybody.
One is an empty bowl.
One more minute.
How is, how are they able to have a different name when they go to jam?
I think it's because it is from my Gmail that it's created.
Oh, you didn't pull up the one that I copied.
I opened the one that was already open. So I'm not quite sure if,
What if you didn't make it different?
I have no idea. I've never had multiple students, you've had multiple students edit a Jamboard, and typically does it have their name on there?
Yeah, I think so.
I know that's
something to
happened.
learn. That's
Yeah.
something to look into for
Mhm.
sure.
Okay, I am closing the breakout room. Welcome back, welcome back.
Adam, you are. We're just waiting for it to end.
All right, hands on top of your head, eyes on Mrs. Kruger. Ms. Kruger,
Guys,
out of the jam board.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hands on top of your head. Everybody. That means you and you and you and you. Hands on top of your head. Good job.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So I'd like you to close out of your Jamboard. You do not need to be on the Jamboard right now. I'll go ahead and present that. And we're gonna have a little discussion about how we, when we're given that opportunity to work in groups, and we have the opportunity to work together, and we're supposed to be sorting, and we kind of have a little bit of that freedom given to us, and we're able to take our work into our own hands, and given that responsibility to act appropriately, we need to take that responsibility and act responsibly. So I know I saw a couple people drawing and doing all sorts of things that they know, I know you know that it's not appropriate to do. And that means that we don't know if we can do more activities like this. So we want to be really mindful of that. And we'll talk more about that. But for right now, we're going to take a look at this Jamboard.
I have a question.
1 second. What's your question, Dylan?
Do we leave the last square blank?
We'll see when we get to that. We're gonna take a look at all of the Jamboards right now, okay, Dylan? There should be enough words for all of the squares. So I see group 1 sorted men, women, and children for the chores and responsibilities. Raise your hand if your group also sorted the responsibilities and chores this way. See, Jameson did, Richie did. Yeah, so that was a really good way to sort. Let me see. Colonial chores and responsibilities from group 2, women, men, both. Okay, and this group made the decision to move one of the squares over to women because they thought that there must be more. Genevieve, do you want to explain how your group sorted the chores and responsibilities?
Yes. For the category number 1, we decided, there's chores that everybody does. So we did women, which is preserving food, taking care of children, making clothing, and preparing food.
Mm-hmm.
And then men obviously did the hunting, the cutting, the firewood, and the making tools.
Mhm.
And then we know that because of the reading, it said that all of them helped grow crops and raise livestock.
Awesome job, Genevieve, and your group. Francis, Layla, Isha, and Dylan, way to work together. Let's see. Oh, I see another men, women, and both. I see home, survival, and economy. Wow, this is really interesting. This is from Trevor, Wyatt, Nicholas, and Jai. Trevor, can you go ahead and explain how you sorted these chores and responsibilities?
I sorted these by home, survival, and economy because in economy you could make clothing, raise livestock, and grow crops and sell them. And then survival was just to keep yourself alive, so hunting, making tools, and cutting firewood to keep yourself warm. And then home is kind of self-explanatory. self-explanatory. It's what you do at home. So taking care of children, preserving food, and preparing it too.
This was very creative. I didn't even think of sorting these terms that way. Awesome work, everybody. Thank you so much for working together and completing this assignment. So now we're very familiar on chores and responsibility of colonial people, of colonial children in particular. And we read a lot from Sign of the Beaver about Matt's own personal chores and responsibility he had to keep up every day. Remember, he was often jealous of a teen's carefree life because Matt knew that his life was filled with chores. So what we're going to do with that information is write a poem. So I'm going to present to you our Colonial Chores poem. So we're going to be using the information that we learned today as well as the information that we've learned from previous lessons on colonial life, the children's chores and responsibilities, and writing a colonial chores poem. So let's go over the instructions for this. Oops, too zoomed in. So colonial chores poem instructions. So first, it's a poem. You're going to choose a rhyming pattern. When you choose a writing pattern, there's some examples, A, B, B, A, B, A, B. What you need to know when you're looking at those rhyming patterns is if it's the same letter, those are the lines that are rhyming. Does that make sense? So if you have an A, B, B rhyming pattern, the first two lines, the last words rhyme together, and the last two lines, those lines rhyme together. If you have any questions about this, I can clarify further. You're going to write your poem with the theme of colonial children's chore life. So there should be a lot of ideas about that. There must be two stanzas or more. And a stanza is the group of the verse for each poem. So there's 4 lines per stanza, and I'll show you an example. And you're going to skip lines between the stanzas. You're going to include a title. You're going to capitalize the title. And you're going to include correct capitalization, spelling, and punctuation in your poem. So what is this poem going to look like? Well, here's an example from Mrs. Chucky. So she named her poem A Day's Work. Chores, 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 it's what kids do all day. Too bad children cannot speak out and say, these silly chores are in my way. All I want to do is play. Caring for little brother and little sis, they seem grateful and give a kiss. But kids just want to be free, to go outside and climb a tree. Taking the cloth to sew and mend, don't have time to make a friend. In colonial times, children can't be lazy. To survive the day, kids need to work like crazy. So this was the Colonial Chores poem from Mrs. Chucky. And what you'll see in here, she used a couple different rhyming patterns. In the first verse, in the first stanza, she has the first 2 lines rhyming, and then the second 2, so she did an A, B, B pattern. And then in the next stanza, she did in the first one, she did A, and then the next one, she did A, B, B. So if there's any confusion about those rhyming patterns, like I said, I can happily clarify and help you out.
And remember, the content is about colonial children's chore life and daily life.
Yes.
You need to make it rich with facts from what they do and what you got. You're applying what you read in the textbook.
And if you don't recall all of the details from what I shared in our jot dot, you can refer back to your textbook. I'm going to write this on the board and I'll put it in the chat. Pages 218 and 219 of your social studies textbook go over the daily life of colonial people. So students online, you can access this Colonial Chores poem on Google Classroom, and I advise you to do that now. And students in class, I have a physical copy for you. I suggest you working in your reading and writing notebook first before putting it down on this paper. So I'll hold on to it first. Hold on to your jot pad.
do your rough draft in your reading?
So do your rough draft in your reading and writing notebook, and then transfer your finished product, your finished poem, onto the document in Google Classroom. When you access your document in Google Classroom, you will see the rubric. What are your questions for this assignment? Can they have some time in the afternoon to work on this, or is it going to be finished up work?
Finish up work, I mean, we don't have afternoon today,
Oh,
because it's
yeah.
a modified day. I can't see whatever.
Yes, Faison?
You're gonna have to.
So this is in Google Classroom, under writing, I believe, or under social studies. Let me check real quick. I believe, Faison, check if it's under social studies. One second.
So you're writing it in your reading and writing notebook first. We'll give you the hard copy, the final draft copy. And then we'll collect both your jot pad and your writing, and your looking at things.
Okay, I'll add that now. So for right now, just look in your reading and writing notebook and start working on your rough draft. And I'll present the example. Actually, I'll present the rubric. And everybody online, I'll make sure that's put on Google Classroom right now.
Oh, you're right, you're so right.
So skim and scan through the textbook, some of the chores. And you only need 2 stanzas, not 3.
Only 2 stanzas. Mrs. Chucky went above and beyond, and if you are feeling inclined to go above and beyond as well, you are welcome to do that.
Make sure you have a title, and poem titles are in quotes and capitalized.
Remember that poem titles are in quotes and capitalized.
Look at you go, Danica, good job.
Skim and scan, and then it can help you.
While I'm getting this uploaded onto Google Classroom, to finish up today, I would like to ask you to put into the Google Meets chat which colonial chore for children you think you would despise the most. If you were a child in the colonial times, which chore do you think would just get under your skin? Go ahead and throw that into the chat while I get this document uploaded on Google Classroom. I thought you did, but you can't find it. I mean, they didn't.
Maybe you're gonna finish editing.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I can look and see.
Taking care of little sisters and cleaning. Sewing, I despise sewing. Hunting. Yeah, they have a lot of chores.
Everything except hunting and raising dogs is same. Because the hard and I despise.
You despise. So that's a strong feeling, a strong emotion.
I despise you guys.
It's going slow. Awesome, guys.